Welcome back, everyone. My name is Jaime, and this is Meant to Vent Podcast News. I like to get some crazy headlines and have fun with the news and trending headlines and give my crazy opinions on them, whether they're good ones or bad ones. And with that said, let's get on with some vents. I was reading this article, and this guy was talking about. This is why my channel usually doesn't have children involved. Like, my videos are like not for kids, like warning. I always put it out there before I upload, these, just do not, this isn't for kids, this topics. And while you're at it, if you're new to the channel, I would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. Trying to get those numbers up, trying to get them up there. Anyways, this individual went to a sex party, which some people might call an orgy. And during this orgy, the guy had a crazy experience, ended up encountering a family member. That's right, a family member was there when he showed up to have some sex. He went out there to have some weird sex too. Like, you didn't just go and hook up with somebody. You did on a dating app. You went to a party to go hook up with some weird shit. You went to do some freaky shit, and then you saw a family member there. The next holiday is gonna be real interesting. You'd be looking across the table at dinner time. Some things like that. But me not having any experience in this field of the orgies, world, I looked up some things and went out there and looked up, and somebody said there was this list, and it was a list they got out there so somebody wouldn't have this same mistake. We can look out for you out there. So it's 8 tips before you would go to an orgy. I mean, that would be wild going to one and a family member shut up. Or a friend. Like, you were just trying to keep your own freakiness in your pocket or keep it in the closet. And you go up to show up at your sex time, and then, now it's all out the plaza. Now it's all out there. It's like, how you doing? How's it going? It's your neighbor or something. It could just be really awkward in so many ways. But let's get on to this list. Rule number 1, always get clear verbal consent. I would agree with that. It says, the number 1 rule is to receive explicit verbal consent from all your partners before initiating a sex act. Also, if drug use is involved, make sure to be especially careful to look out for the people who may be impaired to give consent. Dang. So I guess you can still get date raped at an orgy. There's no safe person, there's no safe party nowhere. I guess you go in there to get some. But is it really date raping if you passed out and still had sex? I mean, you went there to have sex? I don't know. We'd have to get into a whole nother topic there. That'd be a whole nother debate. But let's get on to rule number 2. Do some background research. I mean, it says right here, it's helpful to know some basic facts about your orgies organizer and rules. Like, they got topics and shit. Like, I'm the organizer and shit. I would want to know too. I mean, how much can you find out about somebody where you're going to meet strangers to have to participate in crazy sexual acts? It's like, how much can you find out about the person who's about to shove a thumb in your ass? I don't know. I thought it was supposed to be something more discreet and mysterious. But I guess I would agree with that. Do some sort of background check. Who knows? And not like one of these. Not a background check like that. So let's get on with some of these more rules. Rule number 3, set your boundaries in advance. Okay, I don't think you really have to go too much in the example. Like, before you arrive, consider setting a boundary of what you will and will not do. I mean, like, figure out what's going where and what's definitely not going where. Because you don't want, or what if you're like the orgy wuss? Like, what if you're that dude that shows up at the orgy and you're like that wuss? Like, oh, here's this dude again. He choked last time. He fucking just choked. He was over here, like Mr. Quick Guy, got himself off and couldn't even participate with anybody else, And then, like, what if he comes back? Like, what if you're that orgy wuss, but then you come back and have like your 8 Mile moment. You come back and just like fuck everybody up. But then in the good way, you know what I'm saying? But you come back and have that comeback moment, and then you ain't the wuss anymore. But I don't know. I would set your boundaries in advance, You wouldn't want no random person just running up and, pulling some crazy move on you ain't ready for. You just got to I would just be prepared. Number 4, communication is key. Communicate your boundaries. It goes back to boundaries right there again, to the desires of your partners before during sex. The more open you are, the more enjoyable experience will be. Basically, watch your back. That's what I would say. I mean, because you just don't know communicate properly, or somebody might be running up, and putting some things in you that you ain't ready to have things in you, that you didn't plan on having anything in you. So, yeah, I would say communication is like very important. Very important. Very, very important. And number 5, be patient. Sometimes relax and socialize and get a little chemistry going on. I could agree with that. You can't just walk in a room, I guess, and just start going poking everybody, and just poking around on everything, just walk in doing one of these kind of humping humping things and hoping they're just going to give you a hole or something. You can't just do that shit. I would think you just can't, you got to have some kind of etiquette, They just take your jacket, it's like, oh, here's your jacket, and then just start humping. I don't think you can do that stuff. And number 6, avoid getting too intoxicated. Yeah, no duh. Because like earlier, you wouldn't be able to set no boundaries possibly. I don't know. Orgies often feature drinking and drug use to make sure you're not too impaired to make sensible decisions. I mean, how sensible decisions do you already make? It says good way to alternate alcoholic drinks with a glass of water. That way you can stay hydrated and you can handle any crazy long marathon sessions. They call them marathon sessions. In other words, stay hydrated. Last thing you need is somebody fainting at the orgy. Somebody grab some Pedialyte, something, or a Gatorade. And number 7, keep an open mind about sex partners. Go into an event with an open mind, having, other than your traditional dating life. I don't think this is the very traditional dating lifestyle. I mean, it could be for some because that's your style, but not for me because I have no idea. This is a dating style. I prefer to go to orgies. You know what I'm saying? I just go to groups. I prefer the group session and group support or something like that. But, you might have different things when you go in there, different body types, different body shapes, different genders, different things like that. In other words, weirdos might show up. That's what I could say about rule number 7. Just be ready for some weirdos or some strange people. Or what if you're the strange one? Be prepared to be the strange one. And number 8, we can go with number 8. Know that rejection is a standard. Don't take rejection personally and make sure you're polite when rejecting someone else's advances. Know that all of you have plenty other chances to engage in sex acts with other partners. Sometimes your number's not called, in other words. You may not be called this time. You might be hanging out there and be like, hey, you want to maybe, and they're like, no, okay, maybe, no, okay. How about you? Maybe, hey there, hello there, no, okay. That might just be, maybe you just show up there and you just get a participation award. But these were the 8 tips I wanted to share with y'all. And my name is Jaime, and this has been an episode of Meant to Vent Podcast News, and I'll see y'all next time. See ya!